she died? Moana did not just get a new power. The sequel makes her cross the line between mortal and myth. That sounds too extreme for Disney until the ending stops playing like an adventure. Moana reaches the cursed island. Nalo's storm closes in. Maui loses his power. The ocean turns violent, and then lightning hits. Not near her. Her. For a moment, the movie lets the impossible sit there. Moana is down. The mission feels over. The girl who once crossed the ocean to save her people has gone farther than any human was supposed to go, and the price finally catches up. Then the ancestors answer. They do not just comfort her, they bring her back changed. New markings appear. Her connection to the gods is no longer only spiritual. She returns standing closer to Maui's world than her own. That is the receipt. The first journey made her a wayfinder. The second one turns her into something between human, hero, and legend. Moana survives, but not in the normal Disney way. She comes back from the edge, and the girl who returns is not fully the girl who left. And that is what makes the ending feel bigger than a normal survival moment. Disney could have played it as simple magic, a glow, a rescue, a happy return, but the sequel makes the change visible. Moana does not just wake up and continue the mission like nothing happened. The movie marks her body, changes her status, and puts her closer to the kind of beings she used to only meet in legends. That is the important part. The ocean chose her once. The ancestors answer her now. Candy was Turbo. King Candy was not a new villain. He was an old one wearing sugar. That is why the reveal works so well. For most of the movie, he looks ridiculous. Tiny crown, fake sweetness, nervous little voice, a cartoon king in a candy racing game. Then the glitches start making sense. King Candy is Turbo, the racer who could not stand being forgotten, the arcade star who got jealous when a newer game stole attention, the character who destroyed his own world, vanished from the arcade, and found a way to hide inside someone else's. Suddenly, Sugar Rush stops looking cute. It becomes a crime scene. Vanellope was not just a glitch. She was the rightful racer Turbo tried to erase. The code was not broken by accident. It was rewritten to protect a stolen identity. Now, every King Candy scene changes. Every smile becomes panic. Every rule becomes cover-up. Every warning about keeping the game safe is really about keeping himself hidden. The candy was the costume. The glitch was the evidence. Turbo never disappeared. He just learned how to look sweet. He controls rain? Lilo feeding a fish sounds like a joke. Then you remember why the rain matters. Pudge is not just a random fish. Lilo says he controls the weather. That is why she brings him a peanut butter sandwich. That is why she panics when she cannot feed him. Everyone else treats it like one of Lilo's strange little habits. But Lilo's habits are not random. She is a child living inside grief. Her parents are gone. Nani is trying to hold their life together. And the story keeps circling weather, water, and the kind of loss a kid would try to control in the only way she can. The movie never says this is why she feeds Pudge. That is exactly why it hurts. Once you connect the pieces, the scene stops being cute. Lilo is not feeding a fish because she is weird. She is trying to bargain with the thing she believes can change the sky. A sandwich becomes a ritual. A fish becomes something she can still protect. And suddenly, the saddest part is not that Lilo thinks Pudge controls the rain. It is that nobody understands why she needs him to. They took him. Dr. Facilier did not just lose, he got collected. The whole movie tells you his magic is not free. Every shadow, every card, every song, every deal comes with a debt. He keeps calling them his friends on the other side, like that makes him powerful. But friends do not make you beg like that. By the end, the talisman is broken. The bargain collapses, the shadows come alive, and for the first time, Facilier is not performing. He is terrified. That is the receipt. The beings he borrowed power from do not forgive him. They drag him down, pull him into the darkness, and leave his face marked where the living world can still see it. The movie does not need to explain every rule. It shows you the contract closing. That changes the song. It is not just a villain number, it is a payment plan. Every smile is borrowed power. Every trick is another second on a debt he cannot pay. He thought he was holding the cards, but the cards were always theirs. The shadows were not his weapon. They were his deadline. Baymax was Marvel. Baymax was not born as a Disney robot. He came from Marvel. That sounds wrong because the movie version feels like pure Disney. Soft body, healthcare voice, inflatable design. A robot made to ask where it hurts and then somehow make the whole audience cry. But before that version existed, Big Hero 6 was a Marvel Comics team. That is why the reveal feels so strange on rewatch. Most people met Baymax through the Disney version first, so the Marvel connection feels backwards, almost like trivia that should not fit. But it does. The name, the team, the superhero setup, the idea of heroes surrounded by advanced tech and costumed danger, that older version was already there before Disney softened the shape around it. They did not invent the bones, they changed the heartbeat. And the original Baymax was not the gentle marshmallow nurse everyone remembers. He came from a stranger superhero world tied to bodyguard tech, comic book danger, and a much less cuddly version of Hero's story. Then Disney rebuilt him. That is the wild part. They did not just adapt a Marvel property, they took something sharp, weird, and superhero-coded, then turned it into one of the softest emotional weapons in animation. So when people say Big Hero 6 feels like Disney doing superheroes, they are only half right. It was Disney doing Marvel, just not the Marvel most people expected. The comic origin is the hidden skeleton. The hug is the disguise. Baymax was Marvel before he became Comfort. Gods were connected? This is not official canon. That is what makes the board fun. Disney never says Hercules, Ariel, Moana, Zeus, Triton, and Maui all live in one connected universe. They do not give you one family tree. They do not draw the red lines for you. But the mythology keeps tempting people to do it anyway. Look at the pattern. Sky gods, ocean rulers, demigods, underworld forces, storm gods, islands with souls, ancient powers tied to family, territory, and inheritance. Separately, these stories belong to different movies and different cultures. That part matters. Because the theory only works if you keep the difference clear. This is not saying Greek mythology, Polynesian mythology, and every Disney ocean story are secretly the same thing. That would flatten cultures that the movies pull from in very different ways. The fun is smaller and safer than that. It is about how Disney keeps returning to the same mythic ingredients: family power, inherited domains, gods who control nature, and humans who get pulled into their world. That pattern is what makes fans start drawing lines. But once Disney keeps borrowing mythological systems, fans start asking the same question. Why do so many of these worlds feel like they could sit on the same board? In Greek mythology, Zeus rules the sky, Poseidon rules the sea, Hades rules below. That structure already makes family trees dangerous. Then Disney adds ocean kings, demigods, living islands, and storm gods across different films, and the pattern gets harder to ignore. No scene confirms it, but discussion does not need full canon to catch fire. Sometimes the movies do not connect. The mythology does the damage for them. Rapunzel was there. Rapunzel really was at Elsa's coronation, not in a fan edit, not in a deleted scene. In the movie, the moment is tiny. The gates open, guests walk into the castle. The camera moves fast enough that most people never catch it, but pause at the right second, and the shape is impossible to miss. Short brown hair, purple dress, Eugene beside her. The princess from another movie quietly walks into Arendelle. That is why this cameo works so well. It feels bigger than it technically is. One background walk cycle, and suddenly fans are building maps, timelines, ship routes, family theories, and entire shared universe boards. But the safe version is stronger. This does not prove every Disney royal family is connected. It does not confirm one giant universe. It does not make every fan theory true. It proves something simpler. Disney put Rapunzel and Eugene on screen where viewers were not supposed to notice them the first time. No speech, no explanation. Just a princess hiding in plain sight. Elsa was not the only princess in that room. Most people just missed the other one. The island was her. The monster was the island. That is the twist hiding in plain sight. For most of the story, Te looks like the villain. Fire, rage, smoke, a wall of lava standing between Moana and the thing she needs to restore. Every legend makes it feel simple. Te Fiti is gone, and Te is what blocks the way back. But the movie is not building toward a fight. It is building toward recognition. When Moana looks closer, she sees the truth everyone else missed. Te is not guarding Te Fiti. Te is Te Fiti without her heart. The life-giving island did not disappear. She was wounded so badly that the world only recognized the rage she became. That changes the ending completely. Moana does not win by destroying the monster. She wins by walking toward it. She parts the ocean, stands in front of the fire, and gives back what was stolen. The lava face softens. The monster becomes a goddess again. The enemy becomes the victim. The final battle becomes an apology. That is why the scene still hits. The island was never lost. She was screaming, and Moana was the first person brave enough to listen.